foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this is just going to be a nice, quick update um, on the economic side of things. As you can see, there are more economic woes, and it looks like Salesforce, which is a company, might be starting off the the cutting for 2023. All right, and then you also have this article here. It says St. Louis Fed quietly finds U.S. is now in a recession. Okay, so let's read a little bit of this. Like I said, just straight to the point. But these are the signs of the times. Okay, that's what these are. These articles, these news clips, the information that comes out, these tweets, these are all signs of the times. All right, and reading them and being aware of what's going on gives you an understanding of what the times look like. What's coming ahead. Okay, and what's currently happening. Because a lot of this information has to be brought out over alternative media outlets because the mainstream media, a lot of them, or if not all, work on an agenda, which means that they release certain information uh, um, when they're told to, not when it happens, and also the way they release certain information. Okay, whether to purposely try to spook people or to keep people calm and docile when they should really be worried and concerned. So, a lot of this information comes out on the alternative media, which is why it's good to read these articles and stay up to date with what's actually going on. So it says Salesforce to fire 10% of workers as it warns about economic downturn. It says here Salesforce shares rose in pre-market trading after the company announced a broad restructuring plan intended to reduce operating costs, improve operating margins, and continue advancing the company's ongoing commitment to profitable growth. Add Salesforce to the growing list of technology companies decreasing headcount amid recession threats. Now, according to the next article, it's not a threat anymore. It says the company plans to reduce the current workforce by 10%. The latest SEC filings show the company has 73,541 employees. Okay, so if we do that, that's going to be what? 10% of 73,500 and, what was that? 41. Which, yep, that's right about 7,000 people, okay, out of a job. It says here Salesforce plans to scale back on real estate and slash office space in certain markets. All of this was disclosed in a filing with the SEC. And then when you read the letter that was sent out to the employees, I mean, well, it says here total cost of the restructuring are expected to be approximately $1.4 billion to $2.1 billion, which is about 800 million to 1 billion, or which about 800 million to 1 billion is expected to be accrued in uh, 4Q23 or fourth quarter, I guess. Um, Now let's come down. Let's see. Right. So it says also in the filing was a letter by Chief Executive Officer Mark Benioff addressed to employees that read. And you come down here. It says here as one Ohana over the last 23 years. Then they go into all of these things here, but these are the important parts. It says, however, the environment, and what environment is that? The economic environment. And the thing about it is this is the global economy, right? The environment remains challenging, and our customers are taking a more measured approach to their purchasing decisions because the atmosphere of the economy determines or dictates the actions of these customers or investors or consumers. And when these consumers start to react to the economy, then that starts to affect producers, okay, or businesses or companies. So it's all in a cycle, and everybody's being affected, okay, because damn, I mean, there's so many factors. If a customer says, "Look, I'm gonna slow down on my usage of your products," and more customers do that, then the company says, well, we're not getting as much traffic, so we need to cut down on our employees because we don't have enough money coming in order to pay you all and still make a profit and still stay, in business. So we got to cut these numbers down. But the thing about it is, when this company cuts their numbers, people, right, that work for this company lose their jobs. These same people are customers for other companies. So when these people lose their jobs, then they say, well, I can't afford to keep on giving business to this other company that I buy from, whatever it is that I buy or whatever membership that I own with them. I just got fired. So I can't pay for this anymore. So I'm cutting off this membership or I'm stopping going here. Then what happens? Then that company who now just got their membership or their customer lost, they now have to make some cuts. And then the cycle goes on and on and on. So that's the thing about these kinds of situations is it can get very messy, okay? Because it's all, you know, tangled and mixed in at some point. So it says here, with this in mind, we've made the very difficult decision to reduce our workforce by about 10%, mostly over the coming weeks. Yeah, because see, this is going to put people in a very difficult situation, right? It's going to further the movement or the agenda to do away with the middle class and just have the rich and the poor. All right. So people lose jobs, they lose their housing, they lose pretty much everything. Remember, this guy, the World Economic Forum, they say, and now they're becoming, they're getting credibility and acknowledgement and recognition from what the UN and all these different bodies. Okay, and mind you, these are the same. I mean, this is like the face. Okay, the face of these elites moving out here, getting accepted. Well, guess what? Klaus Schwab said he wants to put things subdermally inside of you. You know what I mean when I say things, okay? But people are anyway. Uh, the point is that um, they said that you will own nothing and be happy. Now, people own things now. Do you think people are just willingly gonna say, "Yeah, I just give up everything I have, slack it, so that I can be happy"? No. So when they said you will own nothing and be happy, what they mean is not that you're gonna give it to them; they're gonna take it from you. And they're not, and in most cases, it's not gonna be direct. It's gonna be through certain events that take place that'll strip you of everything you got, and then you're fully and totally reliant on them. So that means that if they provide you a life package, so to speak, well then guess what? They provide you a life package if you say, all right, or if they say, I need you to do this or take this CHIP, and then in order to continue receiving this, because that's how you really get somebody, right? If you first tell them, look, I got what you need, and unless you do this, I ain't gonna give it to you. That's one way of coercion. But a stronger way is when you don't give them that condition at first, then they continue to rely on you for it. And when they rely on you enough to where now they're fully dependent on you, then you say, in order to continue receiving these services, you now need to do this. That is far worse because it's easier to walk away from something that you haven't started than it is to walk away from something that you're basically dependent on now. All right, before you become dependent, if you offer somebody drugs, they can say no much easier if they haven't done it, as opposed to offering a drug addict or telling a drug addict that, look, I ain't gonna give you this to you anymore. It's gonna be harder for a drug addict to say no than somebody that's never done drugs before. So what they do is they get you hooked. They take away everything from you. They seem like the good guys who are here to give you these things and help you out. And then all of a sudden, the help has now, there's a catch. The help has requirements. In order to get help, you gotta do what we tell you. Boy, I tell you. All right. So it says, it says, I've been thinking about, I've been thinking a lot about how we came to this moment as our revenue accelerated through the pandemic. We hired too many people, leading into this economic downturn we're now facing. And I take responsibility for that, yeah, but your responsibility taking is not going to give them a job now. It says within the next hour, employees who are initially affected by this decision will receive an email letting them know. Our leadership will reach out directly to these employees and provide clarity for their teams about changes within the organizations. And it goes on, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. But yeah, man, it's that's what's happening, and it's real. It's real. Now, like I said, there are people who go about living their everyday life like everything is all sweet until they end up in this position here, and then they start looking out and finding these kind of articles and then being aware of what's actually going on. you know but a lot of people get caught off guard because they're not aware of the signs of the times. They're not aware of the time that they're living in, when you should be aware of the time you're living in. The scriptures say that a prudent man looketh well into his goings, but the simple pass on and are destroyed, for lack of, or roughly paraphrasing. Now, there's another article which I might not read too much into this. Just look for some good parts here. But as you can see, it says St. Louis Fed quietly finds U.S. is now in a recession. And what is it? 4 days into the so-called new year. Um, 1 second. Let me pull this up real quick. Yeah. That's right. This is Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 12. It says, and at the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. So when the calamities come upon them, people are going to be seeking comfort. They're going to be seeking information. They're going to be seeking a way, some help, and they're going to be hoping. They're going to be hoping and praying that they can get a break. And as it says, they're going to hope and nothing obtain, because the Most High is going to. This is a deliberate. It's meant for you to go through it. It's meant for you to suffer through it. For those that don't want to take heed. Second Ezra 9 and 13. When you had yet liberty, you despised the law of the Lord. You loathed it. So now, when you're hoping, the Lord you ain't gonna hear it, man. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Um, yep. So it says, in recent weeks, we have seen a burst of unexpected truthiness out of the various regional Fed banks, a sharp contrast to the constant barrage of prevarication out of the Federal Reserve. Yeah, but it's all strategic. It's all timed. They know when to say what. You gotta know when to. They know when to when to use damage control and when to just let it all on them, because they know how to they know how to test the pulse of the people and then how to manipulate it. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. I mean, really, I might not really be interested in reading this article right now, on here. But what I will do is link it in the description box, so you can read it for yourself. Okay, but let's see. It says the punchline, as the report author rhetorically asks in the final section, is the U.S. tipping into a recession? Um, in sum, a threshold estimate based on this analysis shows 26 states need to have negative growth in the SCI to have reasonable confidence that the economy entered into a recession. Excluding the 2008 outlier, raises the threshold to 29 states. So, where are we now? In October 2022, 27 states had negative growth in the SCI. That would exceed the six recession average of 26 states, but will fall short of the outlier adjusted estimate, excluding 2008, of 29. Their unstated answer, yes. Putting it all together, in just the past month, we have seen, or rather read, the following. Philadelphia Fed admitting over 1 million jobs created in Q2 never actually happened. Wow. Cleveland Fed admitting core CPI is far lower than what the BLS reports. I'm not an expert on these, so I can't explain that part to you. I'm reading it just like you. It says, and what the Fed feeds into its models. Okay, so in a nutshell, the information that they report, the Fed reported, is not directly accurate. It says, and now St. Louis Fed effectively saying, based on the number of states with negative growth, the U.S. is effectively in a recession. While we don't know if these attacks on the Fed's credibility by its own economists will be sufficient to force Powell to pivot, they will certainly be used by the Fed's political enemies. What's that? To seek for a full reversal in Fed policies, and it is safe to say that they will get it. Well, it's only a matter of time, so we got to watch and see. Okay, we got to watch and see. But keep in mind that everything they come out, what they say, how they say it, when they say it, it's not coincidental. All right, it's strategic. So yeah, like I said, these are the signs of the times, and as things get tougher and tougher, things are gonna get much worse, much more difficult. So, pray to the Lord, stay in prayer, and may the Lord have mercy on us all. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.